when General Thrawn comes back, let's talk about
You mean
this.
Blue Elon Musk?
Yes, Blue-on Musk. So when
Blue-on
Blue-on
Musk.
or Elon Musk, that means he's black. Well,
What the hell? I want to sleep with King Sprinkle. We see multiple things to choking General Davis, crushing his chest, like crushing his chest. I hate saying I'm a bully.
I just
what's up? What's up?
what's going on, man? It's good to see your Chilean Mr. 305 self here. And you are in Mr. 305 land, aren't you?
I am in three. Well, technically, I'm in 954 land, but yeah, I'm back here. I don't know if you noticed by my interior design, but I'm back home with my folks. I'm back in the patio room. I'm just chilling for a week, just visiting my grandma and stuff.
That's good. Chilling like in like Hillary Clinton in Cedar Rapids, right?
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah. So speaking of, let's Pokemon Go to the next topic. We're gonna go here. So like that one, huh? Yeah. So we you actually brought this topic up, Andres, because I'm usually the one who comes up with topics. This is something that you had your heart desire on because in the past you have said some very beautiful, affectionate things about this character and this show that's going on. So do you want to elaborate on that, Mr. Oh
Okay.
05?
Oh, sure. I would love to. So I had a barely legal encounter with these boys a year and a half ago when we were talking about Ahsoka Tano. Like remember when I said back when she was 17, I wanted nothing to do with her, but through the years, she's progressed into a very beautiful and elegant character that I do think is very fine, poignant, and very beautiful in her own sort of way. Legal, but speaking of which, Dave Filoni and the our corporate overlords at Lucasfilm, they finally came out with a series called Ahsoka. It actually came out. It was distributed, obviously, and it ended. Well,
No, it's
and
pirated.
season, yeah, it's pirated, right? And season one ended just a couple of weeks ago, I think.
It was no, it was. It's been like a couple months actually.
A couple months. Well,
And yeah,
point
the
is,
point is, it's been out for a little bit. Yeah, yeah,
exactly. I just now got into it. Like when the hype was dying down and there was all this divisiveness going on between whether it was a good show or a bad show, whether it was better than Andor, whether it was better than Kenobi. Everybody was talking shit or everybody was talking praises about it. Everybody was also like praising the scene that happens in the world between worlds when Ahsoka meets up with young Skywalker once again. With Anakin as a Force ghost,
yeah. Right. And the
and
rest is
everybody's out here. Yeah, and everybody was saying, "Oh my God, it's the best shot Star Wars scene in all TV history." I'm just like, bro, it, it it's like the fan service has been splooging all over these viewers' eyes. It's just like it's I love it, I do, but it's not the best scene in TV history for Star Wars. I don't
no,
think
it's
so.
not. I think for what Disney needs right now for Star Wars, I think was that. I think it was something that just like that's an example of like dealing with fan service and it just very like going the nostalgic route, which is something that cool we see. But I think in a way, I mean, we can get to this later, but I think with Ahsoka, it accomplished a lot of things that Kenobi wished it accomplished.
I can see that. Yes,
Yes.
me me for the most part, I didn't care about Kenobi, and rewatching it kind of got a little bit worse after the
Yeah.
hype dies down, and it kind of I kind like don't get me wrong, the moments that stand out like the final battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, the reunion, I think that part is still incredible. I think that part's insane. I think the standoff in the Mos Eisley Cantina between Tommy with the Jedi, that with what's her name,
Riva.
Kita, she Kiva
Riva.
Riva, yeah. I think that moment where Sung Kang as the freaking the freaking teal alien, right? I think that scene where they're starting to look for Jedi is very well done
Hmm.
because it provides a lot of tension as to, where could another Jedi be, and they're accusing other people of being Jedi complicit, of being with the Jedi, and they're terrorizing. I think that's a very well done scene. I think that's somewhere in the beginning of the series, but I think Ahsoka is better, but the caveat is not by much.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
by they're good, like there are good things about it. There are positives about it. Absolutely, of course. But it's just like well, I don't want to take your thunder, my boy, but do you have any outward problems with it? So like the first thing that comes to mind for problems with this?
for Ahsoka, I would
Yeah, Ahsoka.
probably with Ahsoka, I would probably say, um, it's a problem, but it's also something I kind of understand at the same time. I think Ahsoka's it's Rosario Dawson's performance in the first like four episodes. It is very stoic, very kind of like this all but wisdom Jedi, all but like emotionless person, and I'm like, okay,
He's boring as shit.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't like. It was cool as a side character, like in Mandalorian, because it worked for a couple episodes, and she was a side character. But now at the forefront, it's kind of like you're this, like there's been definitely characters that have been in the past that have been like bland or nothing like that. But the story is riveting enough where it's so deceptively simple, whatever. Like I was watching a movie called The Killer with Michael Fassbender. It's literally it's literally just an assassin killing people. But the way that they shoot it and make it so riveting, it's just like, yeah, it's a bland title, The Killer. Like this guy just does stuff, but it's still interesting and like, oh, okay, this guy does this. You know what it is. With Ahsoka, I just felt like it was very like I liked a lot of setup for it, but I still like enjoyed some of it. Like I think I will say I do think the humor in Star Wars is back with this show. I would definitely say that there are times where like it made me chuckle, and there were moments that felt like Star Wars. Like whenever what's that David Tennant voice droid that knows all that builds
Uh
lightsabers?
I just call him David Tennant droid because like he was very entertaining.
Yeah, D3PO we'll call him.
Let's call him D3PO or freaking Barty Crouch PO.
Yeah, party crash. Hello, father. But yeah,
You are no son of
yeah.
mine. Silence.
And then him like licking every 3 seconds, like all the time. We're not even talking. This is a different franchise we're talking about. Let's get back to Star Wars.
Sorry, David Tennant, man. He's a great actor, by the way.
Great actor D3PO. We're back in. Like there were moments where like he was kind of like this like C3PO with a sassy attitude, but it's also like I'm always right, or I always have like this is a bad idea, but okay, like don't tell me I told you so. Which is you kind of need that because like it's basically like C3PO and Princess Leia, I think at the same time, just like this feistiness, but also just kind of this like, you know, know-it-all attitude like C3PO has. But
Yeah,
C3PO, I think too much has like a wuss personality to like like
he
go
can't back
against
it.
people.
Yeah, that's true. 3PO has always been the kind of person who, like, has to have the last word. He freaking how do you say? He's always giving people warnings, and everybody ignores him. But that's because he's annoying as shit.
Yeah, it's like, sir, the calculations is 1 in 350. Can you just shut up? Like,
Never
yeah,
tell me the odds, man.
yeah, never tell me the odds exactly. But with this guy, with D3PO, I think with this character, it brings I would say that character brings the lightheartedness in the show. It's very a mixed bag of light and dark, but I don't think there was enough like that goes a different point. But I guess I get I'm not answering your question earlier. What's my issues with the show? I'm going with the positives first. So let me go back to the negatives first. I think Ahsoka. I know what I'm saying. Ahsoka's humor is pretty funny. It's pretty good. It's not the same quippy as kind of stuff, but like I just felt that she was a little bit too harsh on. I mean,
Sabine.
this is also character development and this is choices, but I think my biggest problems was just like um Sabine. First of all, how the heck does Sabine survive a freaking lightsaber through the stomach?
What? Yeah, let's get that out of the way. What the hell, man? That showdown that she has with Shin, right? Like that first showdown is instantly bullshit.
Yeah.
Not because like okay, I understand Sabine's been out of practice. Like she's a good trained Jedi, but she's been out of the game for a while, and it's understandable if she loses a fight. But it's the way in which she loses this fight, and plus, it's like we don't know that much about Shin. Shin isn't really that compelling of a character, not compared to the Master. What's
No.
his name? Baron.
Oh, what's his name? I know you're talking about. That's on the tip of my tongue. Um, Balin? No.
Balin. Yes, his name is Balin. Yeah, rest in peace, the actor.
I know, man.
Because I think the guy did a good job because Balin is
Reed Stevenson. Yeah.
Rich Stevenson. Yeah, but Balin is a very like to me he's a kind of a fascinating kid. Not the most fascinating, of course, but I think he has his own motives. You know, he claims to be a fallen Jedi. You know, completely turned to the dark, but at the same time, it's just like spoiler alert, when Thrawn actually comes back, it seems like the writers forgot that Balin and Shin were actually like in the story to begin with, so they kind of lose track. I was kind of hoping that they focus more on Balin because I thought that there was good potential, especially when better out than in, I always say, especially since the fact that Balin and Ahsoka have a good showdown at the end of episode 4, and it's just that they start trading ideologies back and forth, you know. And it like to me, it seems like Balin, like you could make an argument that what he really believes that he's doing what's right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's fallen too much to his own side. Like basically, he's huffing his own air, and Ahsoka. And I like the fact that Ahsoka is trying to convince him otherwise, you know, like because she doesn't want to fight. She absolutely does not want to fight. And praise the writers for keeping that to her strength. And it's a character arc that she goes through, you know. But I just wish she wasn't so freaking stoic because, like,
even Yoda is not this stoic.
No. But it's just like I'll get back to the character Ahsoka though. But I believe that if they would have focused on Balin first, then in season 2 focus on Thrawn, I think that would have made for a much more easy progress of the story. And that's another thing too. This story feels a little rushed.
I think so too.
There's too much crammed into this thing.
I think it was also just the pacing was a bit off. Like there were moments where it was too slow, and then it was kind of too fast. Like
the pacing is all over the place.
I would say that that's like his biggest weakness. I would say is definitely that. I think the characters are interesting. I do like Ezra coming back. I think Ezra, that's exactly who I thought Ezra would be. Thunk. That's why I think Ezra would be in like when he's like late 30s, like this. Yeah.
Is it weird that I like Ezra more in this show than I did in Rebels?
No, because I think he's grown up more. I think he's grown and he still has like this sly attitude. And just Ezra was just kind of like Ahsoka in the first season of Clone Wars, just annoying. It just like
he was a brat, man. Yeah,
he was a brat. Like I get it, you have this tragic backstory, but you don't have to sound like a freaking wuss all the time, or just like I don't know, just a little bit of pamperedness.
He gave off those creepy type of, oh, a lot of tragedy has happened to me, therefore I'm entitled to act this way. And don't get me wrong, Luke Skywalker started off in a similar vein, but it's just, but what balances it out.
I would say the same thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I was talking over you.
I'm sorry, but what balances it out is the fact that Luke gets his ass whooped a lot, and so
by who?
We tend to, by let's see. First in the cantina in Mos Eisley Spaceport, right? He doesn't like you, and I don't like you either. We're wanted men. And then he pushes him out. He gets his ass beat, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
He gets told what to do a lot by Han Solo. He gets outmaneuvered by Han Solo when it comes to the Millennium Falcon. Like he does this annoying shit where he's just like, well, what do you think you're doing? I thought this thing was fast. And Han Solo's like, watch your mouth, kid. You're gonna find yourself floating home. That's a good response. It feels like a little brother, big brother type of relation that's forming because Luke Skywalker was being such a little shit, and Han Solo had to veer him down the right path, because you don't say that to the captain of your ship, you know?
Well, and he's very immature, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, oh, what's that flash thing? It's like, can you like shut up? Like, I'm just
He
I'm scared.
slaps it. He
Like,
slaps
make the jump. We're making the
head.
jump to light speed. Exactly. Like, it's like enough. And like, Ben is also like this. I mean, I'm not trying to say like every like older Jedi master is stoic. I don't want to throw that word around a lot, but it's just like,
Oh, he also gets his ass beat by the Tusken Raiders too.
oh yeah, that was the first one too. Yeah. There's a yeah, he's got his ass headed to him a lot.
Yeah, more than a couple. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you for divulging into the discography of Luke Skywalker getting his ass whooping. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mama.
Anyways, so no, but like with Ben Kenobi though, like being like the elder statesman in the room and stuff like that, he is kind of, I wouldn't say he's stoic, he's more wise. And
Yeah.
there are definitely times where he comes in and he's not he's not like emotionless, but he definitely is like knows when to be
Wait,
a human being, and like
he is pretty sassy too, you know. When they're hiding under the grates in the Millennium Falcon, and Han Solo's like, "Damn fool, what do you think we were doing?" You know, and Ben is like, "Well, who's the bigger fool, the fool or the fool who follows him?"
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a funny line.
Yeah, no, and exactly, and so like he's able to like understand stuff and like still kind of like tell Ben is just like no, I just think he's a good teacher. But this kind of goes to my point with Ahsoka. No blame to her. I think that's the whole point of the show. Maybe that's just how it is. And again, it's a show. It's not like a movie where I have to make my final decision, because obviously there's plans to be season 2, and who knows what's going on from there. But I just
I
felt
hope
like,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I was gonna say like it felt with the rush part. I felt like it would have made much more of an emotional impact if like Ahsoka was like training Sabine. But Ahsoka kind of takes a step back, like, I gotta figure out my shit. I gotta figure out my stuff first before I train you. And
Right.
I think it would be kind of an interesting way of like someone finding themselves again and rediscovering their teachings, and then doing it right, and then retraining themselves. And then Sabine either like looks in the corner, sees what's going on, or just learns from that at the same time. So then that way they're kind of like, it's not, because I don't really see it as like it's a nice idea, but I just couldn't buy the whole Ahsoka is the Jedi Master to Sabine. I think it felt, no pun intended, it felt forced.
It, in a way, yeah, because like I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's the fact that this is the main relationship of the series. They put so much time and effort into it, and it seems like Ahsoka doesn't, to me at least, Ahsoka doesn't give a shit about anybody. Like I think that it comes off that way, at least.
Even Hera
Because
is like fighting for her for much, and it's like, Hera, girl, I love you, but you gotta freaking let it. It's a
yeah,
frustrating thing with the Rebel Alliance in the background. That's another part of the show that it was very disappointing. But it was just, I would just say like, a lot of people are going back to them like, let's come on, let's go, and she's like, no, obviously she does, and comes back, but it's just very, I don't know, like it got better after the World Between Worlds. She got a lot better, and obviously that's probably the whole point why she's doing that, was because she had to rediscover herself as well. But I felt like it would have been nice to kind of explore more why she got lost. I know, I get that because of the whole like getting framed at the Jedi Temple, that whole thing. But as an adult is different when you're dealing with your past and you're trying to lick your wounds. Like sort of what we got with Boba Fett in a way. Even Boba Fett, as much as I don't like the show, you see like 2 or 3 episodes him with the Tusken Raiders, and like with the Sarlacc, whatever, and dealing with all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm the like a bantha, yeah. but you know what I mean? Like Ahsoka didn't have that. Like it would have been nice to see her like how she got down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and then it would make sense for her. It would make sense for her to be so stoic. That's it.
And I can't help but feel like this is just a slightly better version of what Obi-Wan went through in his own series, trying to find himself back again. But it's like these modern writers don't know how to write a hero, male or female, right? A hero that's lost their touch but has to get back in touch with with what made them them, without
Yeah.
completely forsaking the character. And this has been fumbled so many times at this point, it's not even funny. That we got Luke Skywalker, we got freaking Princess Leia, we got freaking what's it called? We got Rocky Balboa from freaking Creed as well. I think that was a
Oh yeah.
terrible job that they did. Yeah,
Rest in peace, Carl Weathers.
yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. That's the main dog right there. Thank you. Yes. Um. Also, I think that what was it? Well, either way it goes. This has been fumbled so many times by so many writers, and it shocks me that they don't get it right. They don't get it right. Like the whole point of this character arc is to rediscover the potential that they initially saw in themselves. Not
Yeah.
that they lose themselves completely. They become a completely different person, a husk of their former selves. And even then, that can be done correctly. I think let's see. I think a good example of this being done correctly would be take Into the Spider-Verse, for example, Peter B. Parker, right? That's an example of something that was done right, where you can see that Peter B. Parker is still Peter Parker. That's still Spider-Man. He still has the way of speaking. He still has a sense of humor about him. It's just, and the way he interacts with Miles is just like he's done this shit before. It's just like, okay, give me the goober. This is what I do. Come on, come on, come on, something like that, right? And like he's still Spider-Man. You can still see him. And when he starts teaching Miles, he starts to all those good qualities that we see glimpses of, right? Like good shining examples of what he was.
Yeah.
They get compounded even further because he finds more motivation to teach him.
And
And
it
that
and it helps Peter in the long run because he gets Mary. Oh no, I'm right. Mary.
he does get
He
married,
gets
yeah.
Mary back, and he gets a kid. So he
Exactly.
got his life back because And I feel like there's this in life where it's. I'm sorry to cut you off. By the way, are you done with your point, or is there more to it?
No.
That was it.
Yes.
Okay. back to my point. I
Yes.
I see it in like life, which is like students can learn a lot from teachers, but teachers can also sometimes learn from students
Yeah.
wherever you go in life. So I
No,
got that from
absolutely.
Spider Verse. Like I got that from Spider Verse. We don't really get that kind of vibe from Star Wars a lot,
Mm-mm.
like in general. And I thought that it was a failed attempt in Ahsoka, but which is a good try. Like good. I that's what I think that the writers were intended to do. It. I didn't like do research and like listen to the writers and what their intent was. But if that's what it felt like, and I think it was a good try, let's try that again.
Yeah. Hell, I can even make a case for The Last of Us, for example, right? With Joel and Ellie. Joel has to go through a character arc of refining his humanity, like in a world where it's just a pandemic, right? Where a global crisis is happening, right? And you have to kill to survive. Joel has killed a lot of people, and he is by no means an objectively good person. But
Spoilers.
at the same, exactly, spoilers for the game, not the series. I don't care, but the game is phenomenal. but but
Is the show
Joel,
still decent in your eyes?
it's okay. It's a disappointment, kind of relative to the game that we're speaking about. But God knows it's better than The Last of Us Part Two, though.
I still, man, I still have to play Last of Us, the first
Oh
game.
my. Oh, okay, we'll go back to that, but right now back to Ahsoka. When General Thrawn comes back, let's talk about
You mean
this.
Blue Elon Musk?
Yes, Blue-on Musk. So
Blue
when
Elon
Blue-on
Musk.
or Elon Musk, that means he's black. Well, well, when Blue Boy shows back up,
Yes.
for those who don't know,
Yeah. Go ahead.
right? For those who don't know, General Thrawn comes back. He was a major villainous threat in
He
in
comes black.
Rebels. He comes black. The Empire Strikes Black. Again, this is the sequel to that one. So he comes black, and he was a major threat back in Rebels, but he was stopped by Ezra Bridger, by these giant floating titty space whales who come in and hyperspace both of them into the horizon. Right? It's great. Ezra saves the day. Great job, boy. But he comes back. He comes back, and This comes from episode 4 um when Balin offers Sabine a choice, saying, "You could destroy the map, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you destroy that map, you'll stop Thrawn from coming back, but you'll also stop Ezra from coming back." I thought that that was a really well done, well executed. I thought it was mostly an original thing because you can see that the stakes are high. Sabine misses the shit out of our boy, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to see him again, but we don't want to But Thrawn is a major villainous threat, and it's obvious that this is a setup for a future movie that Dave Filoni is going to direct. But I thought that that was very beautifully done. Sabine gives him the map, falls. Right? That's a fall because she misses him. Of course, it's completely understandable. But when Thrawn comes back, at the same time, they all go to this planet of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle looking ass people, right? And then we find our boy again. We find Ezra. He's just chilling there, living amongst its people. And yeah, it kind of bothered me a little bit that Ezra, kind of gets his ass handed to him in episode 5, 6, around there. But um, I could find it kind of understandable given that, he's living amongst the turtle people, and as far as I know, turtle people are not outwardly violent. And so I
Unless you're the
don't I
Ninja
don't
Turtles.
right, right. If it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle society, then yeah, like I would just be like, hey, what the fuck, man? Ezra should be good. But okay, I can buy this for now. And and I just like how Sabine and Ezra react to each other, like interact with each other in these slower moments, the slower paced moments. I thought those were really well done.
Yeah.
And when the call back to action happens, when he figures out that Thrawn is back, like I do appreciate the fact that we see Ezra struggle a little bit with this, given that he has a new type of people to look out for. He is a warrior, but this ties back to Ahsoka's arc too, in which Jedi are keepers of the peace. They're not soldiers. And
Right.
when she's in the world between worlds, we start to think that, okay, this bad dark side Anakin that goes in and attacks her, right? We think, oh man, Ahsoka's in mortal danger, and the flashbacks to the siege of to was it the siege of Mandalore? Or what was this? It was the siege of it was with a bunch of sand, which I know Anakin loves.
Geonosis
I think it was the siege of Geonosis, and
or Ryloth? No, Ryloth. Ryloth.
Ryloth. Got
The,
you.
the
Yeah.
Twi'leks,
So,
and they had like one with Master Plo in them, and then they had Mace Windu, and then they had Sinker and Boost with not Sinker and Boost, Waxer and Boyle with Kenobi. That
yes,
that arc's
exactly.
yes. So I don't know why I had to give you a Wikipedia summary of that
Well,
episode.
thank you. I almost forgot.
You're welcome, bitch.
Yeah, well, son of a bitch. But going back to this, right? Going back to this, Ahsoka realizes that it's an epiphany, and it's a failing that she sees in her late master. In that at the time, Anakin thought the best way to sidestep violence is with more violence, but Ahsoka clearly sees that there's another way because she has the benefit of hindsight in her side. This is not what a Jedi should be. And then when she finally defeats Dark Side Anakin, right? She chooses to let go of the lightsaber, throw it into the endless abyss of whatever that black thing is, and then that's and I think that's a really well done scene as well, where Anakin just steps back and says that he's proud of her because that's the moral of what a Jedi should be.
Yeah, but when you're like you also gotta defend yourself at the same time though.
I agree. And Ahsoka did an excellent job defending herself from her master, of course, of course. It kind of falls along this type of a trippy line where do you kill someone in self-defense? Do you disarm them? But we're talking about, the ideal Jedi mindset here. And the perfect Jedi would not kill unless it's like a absolute last resort or something of the sort. And
But
Jedi have killed a lot of people in the past.
well, let's take Yoda for example. Yoda doesn't kill Dooku. I think even then he tries to defeat him, but he couldn't. Sidious, you could debate it ended in a draw, but in my opinion, I think Sidious won that battle.
Yeah, I agree. He won.
But barely.
Yeah, exactly. As if it wasn't obvious enough. He was like,
And then he couldn't take it, and then he like left off and like just looked like
and then he does it.
looked like a green rabbit falling down like there, and then he fell back. Yeah, exactly. But the only people he really kills is the clones because the clones are attacking him.
You're right.
He doesn't want to, but he has to.
He has to, yeah.
So I guess that's an example of it. Kenobi, I guess, but like he also, you could make the argument that I don't know, like it's just like killing whatever. And again, obviously he's not a perfect Jedi, but before killing the younglings, of course, even during the Clone Wars, his actions were kind of questionable with some like, okay, did you really have to kill this person? Or even like the whole Rush Clovis situation, which is hilarious. Like,
oh my
the
god,
whole
Rush
like,
Clovis,
get away
bro.
from her. Like, you just sound like an emo, like you just sound like a freaking
get away from her.
Like, he just
Why
sounds
don't
like he just sounds like an emo boy, like calling off territory of his next body pillow. Just calm the hell down.
When Rush sounds like the more mature person by saying, "Why don't you fight me like a man without your Jedi tricks?" I'm just like, you know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah, they just then all that stuff. But anyways, the point is that Ahsoka is kind of like Yoda in a way. I guess she's becoming slowly. I know I'm not trying to put her on this pedestal, but I think she'll be on her way there.
To being like the master of masters, the grandmaster.
I think so, because also I know like Luke is supposed to be making the Jedi Council this time, but like I don't know, like it's good because it helps with continuity. Like finally, Ahsoka, Hayden Christensen, live action. It means it's complete, because it's still kind of like hard to like the way I watch Revenge of the Sith is hard to like have it with the Clone Wars because it's animated and other stuff like that. But now I guess continuity. It makes
Right.
sense. So yeah, and it's still kind of hard to see like Ahsoka with Luke.
Yeah. Oh,
It makes sense, but it's still like a little bit off-putting at the same time, because
a
like
little bit.
then
Yeah.
technically Ahsoka should be in 7, 8, or 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Filoni might be planning her death in one of these movies that he's making.
I think so too.
Because if she
you
doesn't,
do hear her voice in episode 9.
Right. Ashley Eckstein does come back in voice.
But so she's probably dead.
She's dead, Joey Ramone and shit. But going back to Ahsoka, these 3 showdowns that Sabine has with Shin. I mean, I don't know. The first one kind of ruined it a little bit because, like, justice for Qui-Gon Jinn. I mean, what the
seriously,
hell, man? If Sabine, dude, if fuck your spleen, right? I mean, like what? It went right through your stomach and your insides are just fine all of a sudden because some robot put them all back together.
It's also like the same with Reva twice.
Reva got stabbed twice and she's still alive. What?
And still like was like fighting Uncle Owen and
Emperor.
That was stupid in itself, in my opinion. But that's a different conversation. But
yeah.
But it's like, are you kidding me? Like, then with that rate, Kit Fisto and all these other people should be alive. If we're gonna go with this logic.
Yeah, especially freaking Qui-Gon Neeson, like that boy is something else, man. It's seriously like nowadays it feels like death is so inconsequential, and that's what lowers the stakes for these recent, apart from Andor, these recent Star Wars products. You know what I mean?
Especially Book of Boba Fett, because like it was just like, okay, the bounty hunter died. Okay, then you got freaking Thundercat like coming in and like fixing all these people or whatever.
Oh my god.
It's just like, what's the point? Like, if you're gonna repair people, like it's nothing. Then where's the scarcity of death? Where's the Because that's what I liked about Star Wars, was like, it's just, if you're dead, you're dead. Now it's just like I'm watching comic books where it's just like, it's like kind of like the MCU now. You're dead. JK, you're still around. Okay,
Yeah,
Loki.
just go to the multiverse and pull Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. Where are the stakes here? And here's the thing: in old Star Wars, like let's keep it to the movies, right? Even when you bring people back from the brink of death, like Anakin, right? There are usually long-standing and long-term consequences for doing something like that. Yeah, because he's not the same guy. Like Anakin is gone. I'm what remains. And I'm just like, you really feel that because yes, we've seen this guy for more than 50 years now. And and it's the fact that this guy came back from burning hot lava and first degree burns, right? That usually does not leave room for living your life normally the same way again. Same thing with Star Killer with freaking Galen Merrick or Ken 2.0, like in the dark side ending, right? He gets smushed by a freaking transport by the Emperor in the dark side ending. And he comes back with a freaking emo look, he has a freaking ventilator on his face. He has freaking Edward Scissorhands for hands, and like he's not the same guy, you know what I mean?
No.
No, no, and that's the problem. That's my problem in general. Ahsoka's kind of a symptom of something like that. Because let's bring up the ending. Like, I think the ending is pretty ominous because Thrawn is back. He escapes, and I think Thrawn is menacing. I think he's a very good villain. Like a good potential threat because you can see that he's smart.
Yeah.
Like you can see it in his double plans, triple plans, quadruple plans. Like he always has a backup plan, especially in Ahsoka. He manages to escape, which is not a great thing for them, but a great thing for us because we get to see him again. But
Right. Exactly.
it's just the fact that it leaves things so inconsequentially open, especially for Balin and Shin. Shin at the end in this planet, she apparently rules over these people by raising a lightsaber, and Balin goes off on his own, going more into the secrets of Mortis. We see a statue of the father that he's standing on, right? And we're here, like, to a guy like me who's seen the Clone Wars and like you, we're just like, oh man, that's really freaking cool. But what are they gonna do with this? I'm just like, what's the purpose of this? I mean, I
Yeah.
can't really see it, but I mean, even to a guy like me who knows who that guy is, I don't know. It's just so open ended and not even in the most enticing way. Imagine someone who's a casual viewer who's seeing this. They're just like, what the fuck is that?
Right. And it's also just very anticlimactic, and it was just a very more tamer tone of what the ending of Empire Strikes Back is. Like all hope is
Yeah.
lost, everything sucks. Like yeah, we got this or whatever, but everything is we're licking our wounds, but there's still hope. I didn't get that vibe from this. The theme
Yeah.
is there. I didn't get that even with Empire, everything all hope is lost. It just felt genuine that we're
Yeah.
gonna figure this out. I don't know how, but we're gonna figure this out.
Mm.
There was that to an extent, but I don't know, something about like just like and the whole Rebel Alliance part of it is kind of interesting in a way. Like the whole about like the Imperial Senate versus like the Republic again, and basically how like they're not like there's that scene where you got freaking Tim Meadows who's basically the rebel general saying, "Hey, all's good. You don't have to worry about the Empire anymore. Everything's okay."
Right.
But then the rebel pilot, who also is like, also has been dealing with Mando, and I'm sure that had to do with this. It's like, okay, they're wrong in this scenario. We're gonna have like a bunch of bandits go out and do this, and Hera does this, and she gets caught, and she has to go and tell people about this, which I think is one of the most interesting aspects of the show, which is like, hey, they're coming back. I don't know how else to get through your thick skulls. I don't want this. I don't want to go through this again. They're like, we don't either. I'm
Yeah.
like, they're like, then they're like, well, we don't want to go through this either. But then she's like, basically, then why am I the only one fighting this if you're not listening to me? And good for Hera for going behind her back. Like, even she's someone that it's really
Yeah.
good for her for like, she's really going by the book. But sometimes she's kind of like this, like, sometimes you want done something right, you gotta do it yourself. And I guess in a way,
Ex-
she's teaching that to her son.
Yeah, it's true, and that also comes with an interesting angle too, because Hera in Rebels we see her as this hot shot type of best starfighter in the galaxy type stuff, and I like her. I like her in Rebels, but here I think that she's slightly different, not just because she's placed by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but it's also because she's a mother now, and Kanan's son has huge Jedi potential, and we see that when he actually goes and finds Ahsoka in the water and pulls her out. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I think that would have been interesting if we got more of that.
Yeah, I thought that's endless potential to tap in for season 2. Like as it stands, I'll give Ahsoka a 5 out of 10, or on my best days maybe a 6 out of 10, because there are good elements to the show that I'm interested in, but it's just I hope that Rosario Dawson, the person who plays Ahsoka, I hope that she builds on Ahsoka's more lighthearted, more true nature.
Yeah.
Because even when it's serious, like Twilight of the Apprentice, right? You can see that Ahsoka is still a very lively person, even though there's a lot of tragedy going on around her. Like
I
she
also
treats the situation seriously, and when it's not really that serious, she does crack smiles and she does joke around.
I also felt like I don't know why they couldn't have just gotten Ashley Eckstein to do it.
Oh my god, that would have been insane, man.
Nothing against Rosario Dawson, but it's like
Oh,
she was perfect for the role. Why change it? Like the actress who plays Mara, not Mara Jade. What's her name from freaking huh?
Sabine? Sabine?
Not Sabine. Not Sabine. What's her name? She was in Mandalorian season 3 a lot.
Oh, Morgan? Morgan, the bad. Oh yeah, the bad guy from Mandalorian season 3.
No, she's
Lizzo?
sisters. She's sisters with us. Duchess of Satine.
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, yeah, of course, Bo-Katan.
Like, what if they can get the same voice actress to play a live action person?
Why the hell couldn't they do this? Well, yeah. Why the hell couldn't they do it for Ahsoka? I'm just not sure.
I think it would have been better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's hard for me to see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. I still find it hard. Like I don't see it.
it's like a different character a little bit. Like no hate to Rosario, I think she's a good actress, but it's just I hope she really hones in the skill and like I don't know, like plays her a little bit more to the Ahsoka that we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But since we're doing the rankings and we're nearing to the end of the episode, I give this a 7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 10? Is this gonna be like another Rise of Skywalker where you regret it? It's an 8 out of 10. I think it was great, well done. And then 2 months later, you're just like, oh, yeah, I fucked up, man. This is damn right you fucked up.
No, I just feel like this one is very. It has moments of laughter and fun, and I think Ezra's great. I think Sabine is definitely.
Sabine is great. I love Sabine. Yeah.
She's really good. I just think there's a lot of good moments about that. It's one of those things where I'm like, it's okay, but the more I think about it, the more I actually like it more. And I think I'm also giving it hope for what stands in the future as well. But if it's like
setup, it's a good setup show.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a good setup show, but it's not like WandaVision where it's a limited series. If it's a limited series, I'd be more critical of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Kenobi is a limited series.
Kenobi, I would give like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I have to admit, I don't. The only thing I really like going back
Yes.
to is like where Darth Vader was like, "I am what you made me." Like those moments were like, you could just make that a freaking 30-minute short film and it would have been more impactful.
Which a guy actually did. It's on YouTube right now.
Oh yeah, isn't there like a 2-hour cut that they
Yeah,
just
and I don't think Reva's in it for that long. Like the stabbing thing, they make it consequential, and she never appears again after that.
really?
Yeah,
Is that a lot? Have you seen all of it?
I've seen parts of it.
But it's a lot better.
Yes, I found it more compelling.
Oh, then I gotta check that out then.
Yeah.
But any final thoughts about Ahsoka, Mr. Go for it?
Um, My love and admiration for Ahsoka Tano, the character, has not died down. I think she's still very elegant, very poised, very beautiful character, legally speaking. And I hope that in the future, Lucasfilm can utilize her in a more elegant way.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you, my boy?
I think I'm very excited about we're getting. I hope it builds off more of how the First Order comes back, and I like the idea that going to different universes through Star Wars, which is never really explored much in the shows or the movies, which maybe in the comics they do. But I think it would have been really cool to see how what other universes happen, like other alternate realities of what
Yeah,
happened in the Star Wars timeline.
intergalactic hyperdrive. I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. And it should be the thing, like, again, like, I don't want to become like this OP kind of thing where it's like rewriting Star Wars or rewriting things like that. Like, okay, Rise of Skywalker, when they came with hyperspace, like time jumping, where they go to different planets at the same
Jump like,
time, I
yeah,
think that makes sense because of what they are in the timeline, and it's like, a future advancement. It just would have been nice if they explained, like, oh, this is a new inventor came up with this. This is a new thing that are like, I don't know, like a new in the new Tesla, they're putting this new feature in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like if they added that element, I think it would make that a lot more sense. But I worry that they're just gonna rewrite their own history.
yeah. Which they kind of borderline did with the sequel trilogy.
Yep, exactly. Which there was a plan for, according to Kathleen Kennedy.
According to Kathleen, it's the Skywalker saga. Remember, it was a plan all along.
Nope. But speaking of a plan, we're planning to say goodbye to everybody out there. We want to say thank you so much for taking a time to hang out with us from 305 to 352 land.
Hell yeah, man. From out of everybody here, it doesn't matter how far or how close you are. The point is, you always got to be safe when you're having intergalactic relationships with an alien. Of course, it's always important. Always important.
I'm trying to stop recording.